Hello, everyone, and welcome to Elektor Lab Talk number 39. I'm Brian Tristan-Williams, joined today by Jens Nickel, our editor-in-chief here at Elektor. Jens, great to have you back. Hope you enjoyed your summer vacation.
Hi, Brian. Yes, I'm fine. I was on a small Spanish island, nice weather, and after our return, they had a severe flood. So we were lucky.
So you just came out of summer, going into autumn. Yes. We're in spring down south, so I'm looking forward to my summer vacation around December, January. But I hope you're rested. Today's theme, going in parallel with our current edition, is wireless and communication again. And we'll check out some creative community projects as well from Elektor Labs. That's our community place where you can submit your own projects. And we'll give you a few updates from our own work at Elektor. And as always, take your questions and comments live. Chat room is buzzing, so hello to you all out there in the world. I'm seeing Belgium, Cheltenham, Leicester, Frank de Hert was first, of course, Delft, the Netherlands, North Carolina, Gloucestershire, Rio de Janeiro, Portuguese-speaking country like Portugal, Franco, boa tarde. So yeah, we've got a full room from all around the world. Please remember, drop your questions or your comments if there's something we don't know or make a mistake. Be sure to correct us there in the comment section. Hello to Finland as well. And then later, we will have Alexander Neumann, who will join us to talk about what's coming next from Elektor Academy Pro, who is our sponsor today. That's why you can see the show free, including new courses and expert sessions designed for engineers and advanced makers. So we look forward to having a chat with Alexander near the end of the show. Now, we always have a giveaway, and I like this product, so we're giving this one away again. It's the Waveshare ESP32 GEEK. It's a great compact Wi-Fi and Bluetooth development board with a color display, built-in USB-A connector, plenty of I/O for your projects, and it's perfect for experimenting with IoT, wireless communication, and embedded development. So stick around to the end of the show for your chance to win. I have something similar. It's not the ESP32 GEEK, but ESP32 has so many different products. This is a display and ESP32 on the backside. I'll show you more of that later. But yeah, it's amazing how compact these things can be these days with so many features. So I'll tell you later the code word, and then you can enter the competition. Now, as for our sponsor, I told you the show is free. Today's show is sponsored by Elektor Academy Pro. Academy Pro is an educational venture bringing high-quality hands-on learning materials to students and engineers worldwide. And in November, they're bringing us Elektor Live Day. It's an upcoming expert event in Germany, Würzburg to be specific. It's a full day of hands-on demos, talks, and networking for engineers, makers, and industry insiders. I haven't given away too much because Alexander is joining us and he'll tell us more. So now, off to our main discussion and our upcoming November edition. Jens, I think we were chock-a-block with both the wireless and communication edition, and in our last lab talk when you were away, we also spoke about the digital bonus edition, which is free to subscribers. So many projects, and now we work in advance. So you've been very busy with the November edition coming up. What's exciting in that one?
Yeah, that's traditionally our production and components edition. So production is, of course, PCB design, soldering, and all that stuff. So we have nice background articles about the latest soldering equipment. We have a very nice article from my colleague Saad, who unfortunately cannot join today. Brian, maybe you can open it. It's about designing PCBs, and yeah, Saad is very experienced with KiCad, and he also is experienced designing PCBs. If I have to design an own PCB, I always give it to Saad to have a last look, and he always makes it nicer and better. He knows everything about the best routing and yeah, making it even more beautiful at the end, which is also a nice factor. And here he describes what you have to consider if you design your own PCBs. That goes really in detail. There are things I really did not know. And yeah, I think also more experienced ones, they can learn something about this. Yeah, he has a lot of tips and tricks. So that is one of our cover stories. And of course, we also have very nice projects in that edition. As always, the projects are the heart of our Elektor editions. For example, we have a nice project about, if you can switch maybe to the next PDF, Brian. That is a very nice ammeter, but not a usual ammeter. This one is really precise, and that is really going low, up to pico amps. Yeah, you can see it's a very nice prototype. Johannes Stutz, one of our external authors, he really spent a lot of time to make the most out of it. So you can really measure down to the picoampere range. And not only that, he also spent a lot of time to make a nice user interface so that device can not only measure, it can also draw curves. Yeah, so you can measure your components and so on. You can see here the user interface, which is made nicely with HTML and some JavaScript and CSS behind it. Down there is the curve drawing screen, and he also has the zoom function and so on. So yeah, that's also a really nice project. Then Sarge from our lab, he also made a nice project that is also on the cover. This is a presence detector working with radar. Also very nice, and yeah, a very modern approach. This project from Sarge also has a meta interface. I think most already have heard about Meta. That is a new protocol for home automation or automation in general, which can really connect a lot of devices from different suppliers. So also a nice project, but we have a lot more projects and background articles in that edition. Yeah, it's not fixed, so we don't have a cover in the table of contents yet, but tomorrow we will make a final plan out of it. And yeah, we have a lot of stuff, so everyone should find something in it.
Well, that's why Saad is our senior engineer. Pity he can't be here today. He's feeling a bit under the weather, but this is very interesting because when I've designed boards, I never took any of this into consideration, like this curve here. He talks about acid traps and unetched traces and things like that. Did you mention RF at all, like ways to prevent interference?
Not, I think not directly, but okay, that plays, of course, always a role if you want to have roots and if you want to have mass grounding areas and so on. Then you always have also better result when you are doing fast stuff. And yeah, RF is nothing. And yeah, of course, also the people who are keen on RF can learn something from this. There's also a nice drawing about guard traces. That was new for me, but okay, I understand why that is useful. And as said, there are many tips and tricks.
Yeah,
you can see here the guard trace. So that is literally a trace around a component, a guard ring.
Very interesting. Well, this will certainly help me do a little bit better when I design circuit boards. I used to go at right angles, which I understand now is not the best practice.
Nope.
And then as for this picoamp project, Jens, I've never needed to measure a picoamp. Do you know what sort of use case there is for measuring such low currents?
Yeah, I'm not a typical analog guy, but yeah, there are use cases. When it comes to small components and yeah, for example, also the dirty effects, then it is really useful, let's say, in that way.
Johannes Sturz answers some of my question here.
Yeah.
Why is it useful checking components after potential damage to ESD.
Yeah, he says it leakage currents and so on.
Interesting.
Yeah, checking ESD protection.
Great. Well, that looks to be interesting. I can't say I'll need it anytime soon. Again, like you, I'm not an analog guy very much. But let's talk about our Elektor Labs. As we mentioned to the audience, this is a place. You go to elektormagazine.com, electronics projects. And these are community projects, mind you. These are not officially published by us. These are user-generated content, and we appreciate very much when everyone jumps in to share with us their latest and greatest. And you can see the different username here: Tets, Max Imagination, Peter N. This is one you'll go over just now by Yves Bourdon. But I'm going to jump in. I'm going to dive in, if you'll excuse the pun, to Max Imagination. He always does such great projects, so in-depth. I mean, this is a submarine with a first-person view camera that you can control remotely. And as I said, Max is very thorough. I don't know how long it takes him to do this. Look at these photographs. It's 3D printed. And this one really caught my eye. I first saw it on YouTube, funnily enough. And again, it's like a 46-minute video with lots of editing. It must have taken him a month to put together. It's called the ESP Dive, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a remote-controlled ESP-32 submarine. Expressive is all over the place on this one. It's got a live first-person view camera feed, and it's fully 3D printed. So there you can see he printed some of it in military green, and then he used other colors for some of the accessory components. And it runs on Wi-Fi, and you control it from your phone or browser while watching the live video as it moves underwater. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking right now. Wi-Fi underwater? No, that can't work. I mean, I couldn't even use Bluetooth underwater. I had a chest strap for my heart rate monitor, which linked to my watch. So if you went for a run, you could get your heart rate on your watch and your pace and all that sort of thing. But jump in the pool, chest strap is waterproof, watch is waterproof, all very good. But we're talking about 30 to 50 centimeters from chest to watch. Could not send a Bluetooth. So Wi-Fi is not going to work either. But that's where he gets clever. What's clever here is that, of course, radio doesn't travel well through water. So what Max did is he solved it by running a floating antenna to the surface on a cable. So it's a thin cable that lets the signal.
A nice trick, yes.
Yeah. Very, very clever.
That is another example how lucky the kids of today are, or the grown-up kids. I would have loved that project when I was a kid, because I also liked water, and I let dive different things and measured depths of lakes and so on. So I would have loved this one. And now you can really 3D print everything and assemble your own model. It's really awesome.
Yeah, and Max is pretty young. So for his age, the amount that he knows and the experience he's got in all of this 3D printing, he's even working with ballast to make sure that the submarine floats at the right level. It can go up and down. It's crazy. And
really nice, yes.
So the wire runs to the surface, and you've got your antenna on the top, and then you can reach the Wi-Fi access point while the sub itself can dive below. It's a smart, real-world example of working around the limits of communication, wireless communication. So the whole project shows just how far people are pushing the ESP32 platform, not just for IoT sensors, but for serious remote control robotics, even underwater. I'm not sure Max thinks this is that serious. There's your floating antenna boy, polystyrene. But it could be used for serious purposes. You can't exactly drain the Hudson River when you're looking for a missing car, but you can send down one of these. No problem. Love it. So even underwater. And then, of course, Max did put together this video that I mentioned. Very in-depth. Check it out. Just Google or search Max Imagination on YouTube. There's his submarine. I'm not going to play the whole 46 minutes here. But everything you need, if you want to build this yourself, Max gives you all the components, and he also makes available the 3D printer files. So you can follow him and build your own. Look at that. That's live feed from underwater.
Oh, that's really cool.
Cool.
Maybe the military will knock on his door.
Perhaps, or drug cartels, maybe. That's one way of, if you got the antenna above the water, then you could put a GPS there and the sub could find its own way to another country. I'm not suggesting, I'm not making any suggestions in that regard, but and then of course that was my labs pick. Jens, you've got a couple of your own. Let's have a look what you chose.
Yes.
You've got the wireless scales project. That's a clever build that links several.
Yeah, besides these two favorite projects, I also discovered a lot of ST projects now on the platform. So that's also very interesting. So these are the participants of the ST AI contest. And yeah, I'm also a member of the jury, so I did not want to pick some of these. But yeah, they are also quite nice. So I'm looking forward to watch them all, have a look on them all. And yeah, that is my favorite one for today. That is a really nice trick. Really, I was impressed. Yeah, this guy wants to weigh very heavy stuff and also very large stuff. And yeah, he's talking about his bike. You know, how do I say it in English? The more lightweight the bike is, the better. And yeah, to weigh his bike, he needs, of course, a very big scale. But yeah, he had that clever trick to make two scales. And yeah, so he can put the front wheel on the first one and wheel in the back on the second one. And they are communicating via Wi-Fi. And
wow.
So yeah, he gets the results. So that is a very clever application trick.
Yeah, that is very clever.
It's also from the wireless domain.
It's got a bunch of images. Oh, I'm not logged in. I'll have to log in and check those out. While I do that, you love your audio projects, Jens.
Yeah, of
Tell
course.
us more about this one.
I like audio projects, and that is a project from one of our readers. And yeah, of course, I like that because he's also using an ESP32, also an ESP32 S3. That's my favorite controller. And he's also using DAC, a DAC, interfaced by I2S. And he used all these things to build Wi-Fi and also Ethernet internet radio. So the signals can go via Wi-Fi from different internet stations, but also via Ethernet. And he, on his side, he did not need to think about latency. So latency is not a problem at his side. So he even built a very big buffer, and he said, okay, if you disconnect the cable for up to, I think, 15 seconds, you get a continuous stream. So that is a very nice idea. He also made a nice menu system. You can see it with a nice, I think, it's an OLED screen. So yeah, as I built a similar thing myself, I also have chosen that one. I like it.
Nice. I saw something similar to that this week. I have to find out which website I saw it on, but I am logged in now. Should have done so before. So I just want to go back to that scale and have a look at some of the pictures here.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, let me just refresh the page. Okay. Nice. ESP32 everywhere, but like you said, there are a lot of ST projects.
Nice pic, yeah, with the bike on it.
wonder what the bike's made of. Carbon fiber.
Then he's a lucky guy.
There's your total weight, 7.75 kilograms, 7.775. 7,775 grams, so it measures down to the gram. I hope it's accurate, but that's a very clever approach, something I never would have thought of. I love it when people come out of left field with unexpected solutions to problems. And as for this one, I just wanted to show you the rear view here. Reminds me of something I looked at earlier this week, which was much more expensive than doing it yourself. This is it, yeah. It's a stream hi-fi music to your stereo system. This thing doesn't even have a display. On the back, it's got coaxial in and out digital. It's got Ethernet, so you can do Spotify and stuff. It's got analog stereo line in and line out, and then optical in and out, and subwoofer out. But it's not as versatile as this project on our Elektor Labs platform. Plus, because you've got all the information, you can customize it, you can reprogram it. That's the spirit of the do-it-yourself community. So that was the scales and the high-quality internet radio. As I said, Jens loves audio. We've got some other things to talk about. We've got some projects we're working on. We'll take you through those a little bit, just to update you. But first, I'm going to jump ahead and do the giveaway code now. So it's the Waveshare ESP32 S3 GEEK development board. And as I said, I have something similar. I'm just going to use a battery here to power it. It's this board here that I showed you earlier, overhead camera. Now, as I said, that's a display. It's got RGB LEDs inside, but it's not very impressive when it's off. So I'll plug it into a battery pack here. And look at that. Tiny little display in the size of a USB dongle. It's upside down. Let's get it the right way around. Onboard parameters, SD card, flash size, and wireless scan. RGB LED inside there. You got reset switches and stuff over here. It's always useful, one on each side. And underneath there, you see the ESP. Crazy. It's a Waveshare product with an expressive chip on it. And I was just curious about this one because I was looking at displays for a project that I'm working on. And I haven't found a use for this yet, but I just wanted to get it because it's cheap and it's so amazing. So very similar to this. I don't have one of these. I would like one. It's the Waveshare ESP32 development board. And let me find this Lab Talk giveaway page so that I can give you the code. There it is. It's the Elektor Lab Talk giveaway on elektormagazine.com. There is the URL on the screen. And the code this week, this month for the show will be not country code. Here's the code there. S3 GEEK. We used GEEK before, so I decided to go S3 GEEK this time. So please enter, enjoy, and good luck to those of you who are entering. We've got 3 of them, so we'll spread the love around if we can. So that was the giveaway. Now, I mentioned a project that I'm trying to work on. This display here. I've had to take it apart. This is the display I just showed you. Display with, it's a full computer, okay? But I want to make a wake word detector for, similar to Amazon, Alexa, and Google. Sorry if I'm triggering your devices. So you start off with a microphone. This is a MEMS mic. These were not easy to find in South Africa. Everyone was out of stock except for one place, and I had to wait a week to get it. And it's from Key Studio. So I got a couple of them. And then got this ESP32 development board, which from the research I've done and the attempts I've made, it's quite capable of detecting a wake word and doing something on it. So I would like to say, hey, Elektor, for example, and then it responds. I've got it to respond, but I'm getting intermittent failures, so I'm still working on debugging that. It comes with headers, this board, but unfortunately, it's not breadboard friendly. Let me just make that full screen. Due to the width of the legs apart from each other, if I put it into a breadboard, yeah, you've got access to that row there, but not to this row. So instead, I've had to just connect female wires directly to the pins here. Now, once you get it to recognize your word, you want it to talk back to you, so you need sound output. And for that, again, this MEMS microphone is I2S audio. And same for, this is a power amplifier. Same story. So voice comes in here, gets processed over here. My camera is supposed to be autofocus, but it doesn't seem to be handling that too well. So that's the amplifier. It's a tiny little module. And then, of course, that's a speaker connector on the back. And you'll need a speaker. And I didn't want a small little tinny speaker. So I've got this larger one, which actually has a little bit of a bass driver, so you can have some presence to the voice. And it sounds pretty good. It's not stereo. Maybe at a later stage, if I decide to incorporate Spotify or anything like that, that you can already do with Google, with the G word and the A word. Let's not trigger your devices. So that's your speaker output. And then the board optionally has this antenna that you can mount to your enclosure. I'm not using it at the moment because all my experiments are done locally, connected to the PC. But it came with this, with the mounting hardware, so that's great. And then, as I did say, I looked at this display, but everyone has a square display. I wanted to respond with an Elektor logo, and the prime part of the Elektor logo is that red E. Just to remind the audience here. I mean, I'm sure you know, but for those of you with bad memories, that red E there, it's a circle. So what I decided to do was get one of these. It's a circular display. There's my camera, there we go. And it's also from Waveshare, 240 by 240 pixels, which is a strange measurement tactic because that would make it square, but it's circular. So it's 240 by 240, but a lot of the pixels are not visible because they don't fall within the circle. And then you see the connection pins. It comes with this to connect it. Plug it in there. And as I said, got female headers. And then you just, while I'm prototyping, straight in like that. That's for prototyping. Now, it's going to have to go into an enclosure. And I've got this crazy idea. I don't know if any of you remember back when we had to boost our signal strength on the 2.4 gigahertz range, we had this can antenna. You take a Pringles can, stick an antenna in, and it actually worked because at one stage I was getting internet only wirelessly. And signal was a bit spotty where I live. And putting the Pringles can over the antenna actually did work. I was quite surprised. This Pringles can happens to have metal foil inside. So you've seen the form factor of the home assisted devices. They're typically cylindrical and stand up. So just for a laugh, I'm going to mount it in there and put the display on the back. I do have a 3D printer. I'm not really good at designing stuff yet, but I'll get to that. But for now, just as a nod to the good old-fashioned can antenna from the year 2010 or so, I'm going to have some fun with the Pringles can. I'll make sure to clean it out first so we don't get jalapeno grease all over our ESP32. Other than that, breaking news today, I just received this. I have to do a review for it. Let's make that full screen because it's a tiny product. It's the Open MV AE3 camera. And there's a lot going on in here. This is an AI camera. There's a place for your headers. And yeah, quite excited to take this through its paces and see what it can do in terms of AI. We're doing a lot of AI stuff at Elektor lately. No surprise, the whole world is using AI a lot. And this is a compact, low-power microcontroller board. It's built for machine vision projects. As you see, it's not stereo vision. It has one camera. Jens, I know you experimented with 3D vision, as I have too. That's cool as well. But this is a single camera. I do have two of these. I was lucky enough to get two. It's powered by the Aleph Ensemble E3 dual-core processor with built-in NPUs, and it's capable of 200 giga operations per second, which means it can run real-time object detection, even YOLO models, at around 30 frames per second on the board. And you can program it in Python, thanks to MicroPython. And you can quickly prototype applications like color tracking, barcode reading, gesture recognition, even basic AI tasks without needing C or C++, but you could always use that. So this is a 1 megapixel global shutter camera, so you won't get frame breaking when stuff moves fast. Onboard Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. I mean, look at the size of this. Hard to tell. I don't really know how big my hands are, but yeah, all of that in that little package right here. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, IMU. It's got a microphone, a time of flight sensor, all in this board. So edge AI, edge ML, robotics, vision-based automation. The works. I'm looking forward to reviewing that and trying it out. So back here. Okay, so now let's take a look at the audience. What have we got to say?
Yeah.
Yes, Gerhard and Gerhard, I'm sure that you can connect 3 scales via wireless. If you can do 2, why not do 3? You were saying, Jens?
No, I misunderstood you. I thought you were talking about audio, not audience.
Ah, okay. Sorry.
But it's good that we now come to the questions in between.
Frank says I should use 2 breadboards next to each other. I don't see how that would help. I can move it that way.
That is possible. For some of the breadboards, you can remove the power lines.
Okay.
So you can remove that one, and yeah, and then you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice the power strip was removable. Very clever. Thank you, Frank. That will help a lot, and I won't have to use female headers. Just take these off. Wow. Silly me, not noticing that. Franco has an off topic. Any thoughts about the Arduino Qualcomm buying Arduino? I've been watching the news on that. I'm just hoping that Qualcomm allows Arduino to be independent and maker-oriented, although they have expanded into the professional realm as well with the Portenta line and that sort of thing, the more expensive stuff. But it all started for me with the Arduino Uno. So they're making some strides there. And the latest board that they just launched in conjunction with Qualcomm buying them, it runs Linux, the new Trixie version, which is also the latest version that was just launched for Raspberry Pi. So it kind of looks like the Arduino form factor, but I'm going to get my hands on one and check it out. So hopefully it all works for the better. Jens, do you have any opinions on there?
I can only agree to that. So I also hope that the maker friendliness and also this open source this open source philosophy will remain. They said so. So yeah, we hope so, and we hope that the new products only come as an addition to the things we already know from Arduino. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that new board. For example, I also want to try it out if possible. And yeah, we can be curious, and we keep you posted, of course, in Elektor.
Just bring up a picture of that if I can. It's the Arduino Uno Q. dump the link into here and put it up on screen. Yeah. As I said, very much Arduino Uno form factor. USB-C connector.
It is a typical Arduino. It has still this weird pin header where there is a distance where you would not think there should be a distance. And yeah, we know from Arduino that was accidentally made, and it later became the main how can I say main sign that you have a typical Arduino. You can see it at the top that there's a small distance between the first pins on the right and then the other ones, and at the bottom there's a similar thing. But yeah, it has the Arduino Uno form factor, and yeah, I think for that price, it's a good buy. And
yeah, I had a look at this.
There comes also a software that is also very interesting, that new App Lab, where you can build your projects with bricks and also share projects and so on, or use templates from other people. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, $44 is not bad at all, considering it runs full Linux. Yeah, a moment ago I saw add to cart, and now it's back to what I saw yesterday, which is pre-order now. So I guess they are very popular. There we go, add to cart, and now it's pre-order. Yeah, so I can't get my hands on one just yet, but I'm sure looking forward to it. eTech USA says, yes, some of us have Pringles can experience too. Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one. People thought I was crazy because I didn't even bother to paint it. You'd walk into my home and there'd be a device with lights on it, and on top of it, a Pringle can. Ben Martin says, thanks. I can remove the power line indeed from one of my breadboards. Didn't know this is possible. I think back in the back of my head, I might remember something from 2012 where I remembered that, but it was gone from my memory. So Frank, thanks for reminding us all. And our Elektor team says you can read about the Arduino Uno queue here. So there is a link for you. It's a very long link. I'll see if I can find that, but not while I'm talking. And Sandro from Brazil says, great honor to see this live from Elektor Lab Talk. He's joining us from LinkedIn, and it's actually an honor for us to have you on. Sandro, please join us next time. Frank de Hart wants to know something about your background. Yes, is that a TARDIS from Doctor Who there in the background?
No, that's a Rigo oscilloscope, if the oscilloscope is mentioned. Yeah.
Frank, I don't think Doctor Who was as popular in Germany. And then Elektor team is letting us know that on Instagram, because the chats aren't coming through here, that Harlan Smith says it's a very popular high school project and college project STEM, as well as underwater rover submersibles. Really, high school project seems so advanced compared to what I did in high school, and now we're doing it. I mean, we were wiring up switches with light bulbs, actual incandescent torch light bulbs. And the world has joined us. Christian says, viel Glück aus Dortmund. Thanks, Christian. You as well. And speaking of Germany, where Jens is, we've got another person in Germany, and he's been watching the whole show. So thank you for watching the show. We're coming up to the end of the show. It's a little quiet, these shows lately, because people have just come back from vacation in the Northern Hemisphere and are getting back to normal life. But from Germany, please welcome Alexander Neumann. He'll join us for a quick chat about what's next at Elektor Academy Pro, including upcoming professional level training sessions, new courses, and some of the topics we'll be covering later this year. Alexander, how's it going?
Hi, Brian. Hi, Jens. Yeah, fine. Yeah, maybe you have heard of our Elektor Academy Pro brand. We started with it this year in earlier lab talks and other webinars of Elektor, and Yeah, we are focusing more and more on products with learning impact. And I want to share two things here today. The first is the Elektor Live Expert Day. Here, Brian will show you the website. Yeah, it will be in Würzburg, which is 120 kilometers southeast of Frankfurt, and the show will be on November the 12th. It's a whole day event. We start at 10 in the morning with a welcome, and then it goes to 10 in the evening. And what will we do there? We will present our current and future activities in the field of learning. And we present all what we believe is important for electrical and embedded systems engineers and pro makers, so that they are prepared for their everyday working lives. And of course, we will show our latest opportunities to collaborate on books, video courses, so-called pro boxes, webinars, and conferences. The event itself is free of charge, and we will serve you good food and good drinks over the day. But you have to register for it via the event page. Brian is showing it, and we shared the link to it at first. There will be a program of keynotes, classic presentations, and we will stream one of the next, I don't know, editions of Elektor Lab Talk from Würzburg. It will be live there. We will have some guests there from the people who are there. And of course, there will be over the day round tables and the get-together where all the people, all the attendees can discuss products, projects, and ideas. And for us, it's very important because we want to enlarge our expert database, or people who like to work with us. Maybe it's interesting to know that we start with a keynote, or with our keynote, I have to say, and then we have invited as a keynote speaker, which is not it is not official who will be, but I hope we can announce it in the next few days. And then we will have some parallel sessions on marketing, on AI, and as I said, in the early afternoon, we will have our live lab talk. And guests are James Salderidge, a professor and creator of our book, ESP32 by Example. Neil Colling, relatively known embedded systems consultant and trainer with a huge expertise in embedded Linux systems and C in embedded. We have Stuart Cording there. He's pretty close to Elektor. And in the evening, we will have Piet-Jan Blau, a musician there. He's one of our earliest Elektor members, and he has developed several music instruments, and very fascinating show it will be. More in the direction of trance and electronic music. What I saw, it was pretty cool, and yes, we will interview him. So maybe it's a good option for you to go to come to Würzburg. We would be glad to have you there. Okay, I understand that some of you are maybe too far away from Würzburg, but maybe the travel will be worthful for you. That's the one thing I want to show. The other thing is we have started this year with online conferences. The first one was in July on Rust in embedded, and the second one will be now on Zephyr. The conference itself will be on November 5th. And you can expect 6 presentations of 54 minutes, and after that 15 minutes of Q&A, where you can ask the speaker directly all your questions you have. What you get is also all presentations will be recorded. You get all the slides and other materials after the conference. The certification, of course, will be part of the registration, and we will give you a free ebook, Building Wireless Sensor Networks with Open Thread. And Zephyr is there a huge chapter in it. And when we are speaking of a whole day conference, it will be from 10:30 to 10:30 to no, it's your time. Sorry, it's 9:30 Central European Standard Time, up to near to 5 p.m. in the afternoon. The conference itself costs €249. Elektor Gold and Green members must only pay 149. And we have for you, especially our visitors here, something special. You can win a free ticket. Maybe, Brian, you can show the next tab. Yes. What must you do for it? Please share your most important question about using Zephyr, but you have to do it until 14th of October, next week. It's the Tuesday, and fill out the form. And we will give away 10 free tickets for you. And for all of you are interested in Zephyr, which has its momentum now, I would say. So this is a chance to give a free learning experience on November the 5th. That's it from my side, and more will come soon.
Great, thanks.
And if there are any questions now, please ask it. I can, of course, I think I would answer all the things.
Yes, please, audience, put your questions in the comments. I want to see what sort of questions you have, because these are very interesting conferences, and I'm looking forward to this live event, especially having a lab talk live from the event. That should be fun as well. I just want to say again, as Alexander said, this is what's happening. The time in South Africa is the same as the time in Germany right now, but at the end of October, Germany will come out of summertime, and we will be an hour ahead. So this time is showing me South African time, because that's where I am. If you want,
for a short moment, I was shocked.
Stop tracks an hour, but we do have a global audience. So this is an online conference. Just bear in mind that this is Central European time. For me, it'll be 10:30. For you guys in most of Europe, Western Europe, it will be 9:30 a.m.
Yeah, the time of the website will be, or of the agenda will be shown in the time where you are.
Okay, cool. And no questions yet, but Alexander, we have embarked with our sister unit, Elektor Academy Pro, on getting more formal with the educational aspect of it, actually having courses with certifications and so on. And it's relatively new for you, and you've joined us this year. How is it going?
To be honest, it could be better, but we learned a lot while doing the Rust conference, and we had a very good experience at that time. So I hope that we will have our momentum with the next few conferences. I would say the Elektor Live Expert Day is very important for us to interact with you experts or people who would like to become an expert, to learn from you, to learn with you, and to cooperate to new products, which will be more in the direction of learning as Elektor do now. I know Elektor is a learning company for years, but we are focusing strongly to professionals now, and that will take some time.
Well, that's great, and I think it's a good direction to go in, because there's a lot of informal education going on with the internet nowadays. It's people aren't pulling out old stuffy textbooks and reading them cover to cover. It's a little bit here, it's a little bit there. You see a tip on TikTok. So it's nice that you're offering the ability to sit down and focus and spend an entire day in different sessions and learn the product from A to Z, and actually get some sort of certification that you can show your boss when you go back to work, that you were just getting a free day off.
It's a very compact and practical experience we offer. Yeah, most of you know you can go to conferences to have the same, but in times of well, we are acting international, so for us it's relatively easy to invite people from all over the world when the time is right. And I'm very glad with the program of the Sapphire conference. We have a very good speaker there. For an example, the opening will be done by Benjamin Cabé. He's part of the Sapphire community at the Linux Foundation, and there are more. I would say it's a very good program. You will learn, and I know that the learn curve of Sapphire is hard. So maybe we can help you having a good start, or doing better job on Sapphire. Yeah.
Well, I think you found the right experts. Difficult job for you, Alexander, hunting down the appropriate
finding expert is more easy than to get the attendees.
Okay. Well then, I will just add to that.
It depends on the topic. Sometimes it's easier. One example, when I did this Rust conference, it was a very easy thing. I started with a PQC conference too. That was more difficult to get people. Sapphire is easy too. The more in direction of development we are, the more easy it is.
Yeah.
And post-quantum cryptography, that's very niche at the moment. It's likely to become more important as we go into the future. How was Rust on embedded? You did a conference on Rust on embedded. I imagine that was a popular one.
Yeah, it differs. The expectations were higher than it was, but we had around 70 people in the conference. It was very interactive in the Q&As, and we had very good speakers. So I would say, reading the feedback or listening to the people, I would say we did a good job on it.
Awesome. Yeah, I think you did a good job. But sometimes
you were part of the attendees. No?
Yeah, but as I said, it's good to get an opinion from outside, like what the actual audience thinks, not just us insiders. I'm just having a looking forward to going to Würzburg for the Expert Day in November.
If you're coming to, or the German people know who Würzburg is, for others might be a little bit unknown. It is taking a train from Frankfurt is about 1 hour, maybe 1.5.
So it's right there, halfway between Nuremberg and Frankfurt.
Yeah, it will be in the Vogel Convention Center. Vogel is one of our friendly competitors, and they say it's in the heart of Germany. Well, I'm not sure if Jens, what do you think of it?
It does look like
yeah. If you have that, okay, that's fine. Yeah, it's the good thing is you can get there relatively easily from Munich, from Frankfurt.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. So I guess I should fly in via Frankfurt. That's about the easiest.
Yes, genau. That's the thing. Maybe I want to add is that Jens and Brian will be there. Other editors, producers of Elektor will be there. you will meet the right people to cooperate with us. Yeah.
Okay. Dom has an interesting question. I was about to answer, but I'll leave it to you, Alexander. What is an expert in this context? Do I need to be a PhD or something?
No. Yeah, it depends on the company sometimes. How senior you are want to be in this company with in your career. Some companies like to see a PhD, but I'm sure that that is, I would say, 20 years or 25 years ago, maybe that was the reality. Today, when I had a look in development departments, or when you have a look at trade shows or so, the PhD isn't. Yeah, it is good to have it, of course, no, but you don't need it. Or what do you think of it?
I think that question points more to the Elektor Expert Day. Do the people do they have to have a degree to come there? And the answer
No.
no.
As I said,
everyone is welcome who can who has some knowledge in some fields. And yeah, of course, the electronics range is so big that that there's always someone who is better, who knows better about a certain field than yourself. So it's always good to meet and share our expertises.
We all are learners, and
yes.
So everybody has the chance to learn if he wants to learn, and we will invite students too to Würzburg. Maybe it will help them to get a PhD. I don't know. No, it's open, and if you are somebody with ideas, you're welcome.
Yes.
Yeah, I would agree. You don't have to have a PhD. I mean, the fact that you're there, no one's going to come there if you're not interested. And besides, even if you don't consider yourself an expert, I'm not sure I consider myself an expert, but it's going to be great to be surrounded by experts, and there'll be a lot to learn and lots of fun to be had. And of course, German beer, if that's your thing.
And that's the thing our boss would like to see there.
Yeah. And I look forward to the music section that you spoke about, the electronic music at the end of the night. That should be fun.
I actually met this guy already. He was also a musician, I think, at my first Elektor Live. I think that was in Hanau. So similar area than we have now.
Oh yeah, okay.
Blue Zone.
And the funny thing with Pete is that he is, we now have a jubilee, 65 years or so of Elektor, and he's one of our first members. He's he's around 80 years old, but he's a musician and young and hard at heart.
Okay.
Cool. Young at heart. Of course, you have to be like Keith Richards from the Stones, the Rolling Stones. Very old, but
young at heart and too. But he was too expensive for us. I asked him.
Yeah, at this age, you should be doing senior citizen discounts, for us. But yeah, we can't afford him. What can you do? Blue Zone is.
I would say
more fun.
I think Pete suits better to us because he has a electrical background.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've done the full hour. We weren't sure we were going to, but as always, interesting questions and comments come up. So I won't keep you any longer. I'm hearing thunderbolts and lightning outside. I'm not sure if you can hear it because I've got background noise turned off, but I want to thank you for joining us, Jens. You had a good holiday, and now it's back nose to the grindstone. Alexander, thanks for telling us more about what you're up to at Elektor Academy Pro. It's nice to read magazine articles, but it's also nice to sit down and get more formal education. So that's great. And the live day, that's going to be a lot of fun. So Germany, here we come. last comment from Tony Abbey. I'm 78 years old and have been reading Elektor from the 1960s.
Yeah, maybe you have to come here.
Yeah, definitely. Tony, I wonder if Keith Richards introduced you to Elektor back when he was in his 30s, I suppose. There's a lot. Thank you. A lot of thank yous. Thank you. Goodbye. Thanks to all of you. And thanks to you, audience, for joining us. As I said, thanks to Alexander and thanks to Jens for joining us. And thanks to me for joining us, I guess, and the audience all around the world. I wish you luck with our competition. You know, I might take a moment to just tell you about our next 2 shows as well. Find the correct tab. I keep zooming in and out and losing the layout. There we go. Our next show is a webinar next week. You know Sebastian from previous shows on Elektor. This is a formal webinar where he will take you through benchtop electromagnetic compliance testing, electromagnetic compatibility, if you will. That's October 16th. And then I'm looking forward to this one as well. It's retro computing. I just have a bunch of old 80s computers here, which I love. It's retro computing with Adam Wilson. That will be on October 22nd. That is at 16 hours Central European summertime, just before the clock switches. And then the very next show after that will be our lab talk, which will come to us from Würzburg at the Expert Day conference. So Jens, I will see you in person then.
Yeah, I'm also looking forward to that. It's always nice to have an audience and to make it really live together.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Anyway, thanks, guys. Thanks, audience. Good night, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Remember to check your local time zones if you're going to join a conference. And have a good evening and enjoy your weekend.
Bye.
Bye.